Hello, I'm Candle, and I'm here with Count Juno 88 to talk a bit about some changes that are coming to Celestial Dreams in the world of Valnor. I'm sorry my brightness settings are extremely low. There we go. Now people can actually see. Anyways, it's recently been announced that Celestial Dreams will soon be releasing a number of alignment-based societies into the world of Valnor, so we're going to talk about what those are and what they will do and how they will affect everything in Valnor. So, say hello, Juno. Juno?
What? Am I invisible again?
No, I still have the camera on the third person towards me.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, well then, I can go behind you.
Nope, it's back to the first person now.
Ah, you're confusing. Well, hello, Candle and viewers. I guess we're breaking the fourth wall here, so breaking aplenty.
Yeah.
There are loose boots about this hoose. So, let's see. We're here to talk about some of the changes and the content we're releasing for Celestial Dreams, and a lot of exciting things happen, so, I thought what better place than to begin at the top of True Bastion. This is the place where the Oath Keepers are kind of hanging out. It's where we can use our 401k plan, cash in on that, and, and it started raining. What joy is that? So, let's just go ahead and we'll jump down and find a cozy spot down there and get to chit-chatting.
Okay, then.
Whee!
I'll be down in just a second. I would just want to check something real quick. Yes, okay. I just needed to double check, make sure I was recording your audio. Geronimo! And I am lagging because of fraps. I may cut that bit out, I may not, I'm not sure yet.
Let's see. Where's
Anyways,
a nice little place to...
What can we do?
Let's see on the birch section. I like the birch section. It's,
Ah! Your head clipped through the trees. Because you're so tall.
Well,
Yes, people, I do have more player models installed.
And I don't, so you can imagine how awkward it is for me.
But at least you have the proper skin.
I guess so.
Okay. Now,
So, yeah, I think we wanted to, chit-chat about the societies and its alignment business?
Yes. First off, what is a society?
Well, the societies, how we're spinning it off, these are ancient groups of individuals who gathered together, and based on the lore, this is, for what the players will know, this is based back in the ancient days of Honef and Relor, as far as they know. It could go back longer than that, but that's going to have to be found out through time.
Okay, so how many societies are, and what are they all called?
Right now, there are 9 known societies, which each have their sect within them. But they go from all the way from lawful good to chaotic evil. We're following that kind of alignment scheme. The dynamic one. So the lawful good will start from the top and work our way all the way down to the dingy bottom. So at the top we have the noble knights of Korash. The sun Itea is their deity, their patron Itea. Then we have the Keepers of the Oath, which we're already familiar with those. The Keepers of the Oath are the neutral good. The chaotic good is a new branch of the Oath Keepers that we're releasing called the Oath Enforcers. They can be thought of as the sword arm of the Oath Keepers. The sword of Ishlam, the power, the bark behind the bite. And since they're chaotic good, they're going to be doing some things the Keepers might not have done. So it'd be surprising, but all the more dynamic. Then we move on to the neutral sect. We start out with lawful neutral. That is the Rangers of Valnor, a very eclectic group, reserved. They are the ones who go about Valnor. And since they're neutral good, they do acts, of goodness based on their own order, but still they kind of keep to themselves. They're good insofar as they exact justice and look out for nature and take care of each other. But beyond that, the needs of Valinor, the people, the politics, so to speak, are secondary. In the center, true neutral, we have the Society of Everlasting Endeavor, which is being worked on by one of our staff members, Patal Within. He's done a lot of work towards this. So what I really can say about it is it's just a true neutral society of scholars mostly. And I think the tagline he says is that they do not seek truth, but consistencies. So that's going to be interesting to see from them. Then we move on to chaotic neutral, which are the children of the celestial truths. And they're a very interesting group, and they're going to actually they're going to be doing a lot of interesting stuff lore-wise. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on with them, so pay attention because they're going to have a very important part in not only the history of Valinor, but the present and the future. Then we move on to evil. We start with the lawful evil. These are the Twilight Guard. They are evil in the fact that they are sort of anti-heroes, vigilantes. They are noble in their own respect, but at the same time they will go to just about any length to bring justice on those they feel have sinned, so to speak. They are the ultimate, I suppose, justicars, magistrates, judges. They'd be the ones to walk into a bar in Lairdale, find a criminal, and dispatch him, we'll say, and then sit down and have a drink. They're just there. They're gonna dredge you and move on. And they'll do anything. So they're evil in that sense, but they're still lawful. So those are the ones that you're not gonna mess with because they don't hide in the shadows. They're out there. Don't cross them because they'll mess you up. Then we have the neutral evil. These are the Covenant of Kor. That's right, the Covenant of Kor. These are a more assassin-based type of guild. A lot of, I guess they'd be referred to as the Dark Brotherhood, if we want to use Skyrim references. But they're the ones that are more the cult-like group in the fact that they worship Kor. They're in the darkness. The assassins, they're going to be more involved with that. Cult worship, fanatics, and things of that nature. So that's going to be interesting itself, and maybe something a lot of players will be levitate towards. And there's also going to be a little secret in terms of what their assassins can do later on. But that's later on. Can't talk about that yet. All the way at the very bottom, we have the chaotic evil, which are the harbingers of calamity. And just as the name implied, the chaotic evil, there is no rhyme, there is no reason, there is no order to what they do. Their main goal is to just mess the place up and to make things chaos and just to make people just as miserable as possible, just for the sake of doing it. It's kind of like vis-a-vis, we're here, we're going to rock this town, and we don't really care. So get out of our way because you can't beat us. Because we're just going to win anyway, so just give up and join us. Join us in the wonderful things that chaos can bring us. And so those are all 9.
Okay. What can you do once you've joined what can you do once you've joined the society?
Well, the societies, they're each going to have their own perks, benefits, and special privileges in terms of what their society can do. We are hoping that with this society-based system, it's going to give players, the ability to come together as a team and support each other. And not only this being something that hinders your character's RP, but makes it flourish and gives a drive towards it. Because that's something I think is really important in terms of RP, is that anything that happens to your player should be able to drive their individual story, but also the overarching storyline that's going on with all of Valinor right now. And so I'll touch on a few of them that people might be interested in.
Okay.
We'll do the Knights of Korash, for example. The Knights of Korash They were also known as the Sun Guard back in the day. They've had many names, but this was the Knights of Korash actually served as King Honef's honor guard, and it is rumored that back in the day, King Honef himself actually sat on the Supreme Council of the Knights of Korash. They were the lawful, virtuous dudes. They roamed the lands. These were, every mother in Novenir, dreamed of the day their daughter would marry one of these dashing, noble figures. They were every mother's, best dream, so to speak.
Knights in shining armor.
Oh yeah. Well, quite literally, actually, because one of the spells that the Knights of Korash are going to have access to is going to be the Sunlight Armor. And actually, whenever they cast a spell, it'll send out a broadcast that, the Noble Knight has been enrobed in sunlight, and as such, it'll be enchanted golden armor that'll last for, a good enough duration for them to do what they need to do. So that was one of the things. They were always considered blessed by Korash because they could summon the power of of the sun and enrobe themselves in light and fight for fight that way. They had access to that kind of stuff, and they're going to have access to some other stuff, but that's just something that they'll have to find out. But I thought that was one of the really cool things that we were able to do with the Knights of Korash, and I think that players are going to really enjoy that. On the other end of the spectrum, we'll go all the way down to the bottom of the ladder with the Harbingers of Calamity. We already have one on the server, so he's bringing that forward and kind of like a test run, but it's going good so far. But the Harbingers of Calamity, they actually share in the power of Calamity himself and the Children of Calamity, which are the Endermen. And so as such, they have access to bend space and time around them. So they can teleport like an Enderman, and they even have the effects of when they do teleport. They have the purple particles and everything that...
Oh, really?
Wow. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that is.
The other day. So they have a direct access to Calamity. But as such, it comes at a high price in that they have to, in order to get this power, they have to give up something. So that'll be something that the Harbingers, whoever gets chosen by Calamity to do that, that's just one of those things. But it's a lovely life of torment and all that jazz. With that torment comes great power, because they'll be able to, speed up time, move faster. As such, be able to move faster in RP. They'll be able to blink, teleport around, from location to location. And there are also some other cool spells that they can use in RP as well. And not only that, but in Minecraft as well. But that's just those two. We have unique things that are reserved for each society that only these players will be able to use, and so it'll be a really cool dynamic, and each one fits in with each society and what they stand for.
Okay, so we mentioned that the societies are alignment based. How does alignment actually affect the societies?
The alignment affects the societies in a way that something I've never been a fan of is like all these applications. So we've got a whitelist application, this application, that application, villain application. So what we're going to do is that since all these players are going to be monitored in RP, you actually have to be invited to join a society. And as such, if you, let's say, get invited by the Twilight Guard, the Covenant of Core, or the Harbingers of Calamity, you don't have to do a villain app. They have villain apps that are unlocked for you if you get chosen to become part of these societies. And as such, you'll be able to have an automatically unlocked villain application depending on which one you join. Some have more than others, while some are more specific in terms of what type of villainous activity you can do. On the other end of that, let's go back to the Knights of Korash again, because I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to have the ability, if RP'd correctly, that's the opportune word, if they do RP as proper Knights of Korash, their RP allows them to not be corrupted by the madness of Calamity. They can't be, their minds can't be touched. As some of our players have experienced already, Calamity sometimes has the ability to overcome their minds and to put in his own dreams and actually alter, because there's some characters that have been walking around and Calamity's pulling their strings and they don't even know it. They don't even know that he's altering reality around them.
Oh,
So
really?
whenever players play, the Knights of Korash can, be safe in the fact that their virtue and their, divine protection keeps them safeguarded against any type of mental assault and any type of corruption that might befall them.
Okay. You've already talked a little bit about the Knights and the Harbingers, but can you tell me a little bit more about each society? Things like a brief rundown of their history, what their goals are, and so on?
I think we can skip that one because I covered another question.
Oh, okay. I must not have been paying attention that much or something.
I gave a brief rundown of each one as I went through it.
Guess I was just digging for a little bit more information, I guess. Okay, so how do you join a society? You mentioned earlier it was by invitation?
Yeah, each society is going to be... Strike that. Edit and start again. Each society is going to have type of, like recruiters, but also they're going to be looking out. They're going to be watching how players RP. They're going to be watching how how they roleplay, I should say. They're going to be keeping a very close eye, and if they think that they have what the society needs and they can handle themselves maturely and roleplay responsibly, and they roleplay as according to the code of each society, then they will be approached to join the society. But also, there will be type of hints, like on the forums, there's going to be, draft up of each society, but it's also going to have notable figures. For people, if they're interested in finding more about the society, it'll say, well, it is rumored that so-and-so knows something, so you might want to hit this dude up if you want to find out more.
Okay.
So there will be things like that nature, but mostly it's going to be by invitation only. You're going to be recruited into these societies based on your actions.
Okay. What if you join the society and then you want to switch allegiances or change your alignment?
Well, the thing is that it follows the same line, the same... Strike that, edit, and start again. How we're going to run that is... all these things follow the same guidelines as we have for our whitelist application. Once you have a character, you can't be jumping from character to character, because it just makes really inconsistent RP and it gets confusing after a time. So we're going to really go along the same lines as that. Once you are RP'd into a society, your character shouldn't be having these big life-altering changes, willy-nilly. I mean, there has to be solid role-playing as to why you're changing. It can't just be like, oh, I'm bored now and I want to go be evil. That's not going to cut it. Your player needs to have legitimate progression from one movement to the next, because if not, then we're going to call foul on that, and we're going to lock you into the default group, and you won't have any society. You just have to play as player neutral.
Okay. I'm assuming that permanent character death would lead to your removal from any society you are a part of and any privileges you had from that?
Oh, yeah. Permanent death is going to cover that as well. That's a complete restart.
Okay. Who leads the societies? Is it just staff, or can a player eventually rise to become the head of a society?
Well, so far it's planned that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4... I think so far only 4 of them are staff run. Candle he's thinking about heading up the Knights of Korash.
Yes.
Which that'll be taking care of RP, which is also a cool thing that Candle doesn't even know about. So
yes,
he's going to be enjoying that
idea.
with y'all as well. Mayavar, the Supreme Oathkeeper, of course, leads the Supreme Oathkeepers. Leighton will come to lead the Enforcers, which is coming up in an event, and then Calamity, which is also taken care of by me, will run the Harbingers of Calamity. But each of the other societies are planned to be player run, purely player run and driven, and there will be opportunities to promote up, and the players are going to really drive each society. Right now, the Stafford is running some of them because we have to, but as soon as we especially for the keepers, the enforcers, and the calamity, that has to be kind of staff driven because we're very involved in those. But everything else is open to the players because really all those other ones, they're only going to thrive based on how into it each player's going to get into the society.
I think you forgot about one though. Isn't Bata going to be running the society?
Yeah, he's going to be running the Society of Everlasting Endeavor. But,
yeah, since that was his idea.
He's kind of a forum moderator, so he's going to have more liberties to...
Right.
He's more in tune with the player base, and because he's really in there and RPing like a normal player with no staff perm, so to speak. So he's running that, but he's got a lot of good plans for it.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that players will be able to use magic as being from being part of the societies. How exactly does that work?
Each society will have access to certain magic, like I mentioned earlier. I think we can actually cut this one, huh?
Well,
just shave down on time?
Yeah, maybe a little. So is all the magic going to be RP only, or are there going to be things that you can do that actually affect the server? Affect what happens in Minecraft?
Each magical ability that is granted to them should be... It's going to have a physical impact on the actual Minecraft server, but it should stay heavily in role-playing. We only give, we have a plugin that helps us visualize what we're doing, but it's only to aid the roleplay and to give visuals, so people are not pretending that they have to do this epic battle. They'll be actually able to, cast these spells and alter the world around them and to actually use them, so they'll actually be able to see their magic at work, which is really cool. Like when the Knights of Korash cast their armor spell, they actually become, armored up in golden armor, enchanted golden armor.
Okay. You mentioned a couple of the spells that the Knights and the Harbingers can use. Are there any more that you can expand on right now?
No, we can cut this one too.
Okay. No more trying to fish for information, not getting much. Can you tell me how many spells you will get when you join a society?
So far, we have planned each society has 3 unique spells, and what's going to happen is in RP, there are only certain societies that actually have access to magic. All the other ones are going to be their societies are going to unlock magic scrolls, and their members will be able to use these limited use scrolls to do things. For instance, the Society of Everlasting Endeavor, they don't channel magic through them. They unlock magic through spell tomes that they keep, and much of their magic is neutralization magic, which I won't go into any more than that. You can speculate as you wish, but that's how it's going to roll with them.
Okay. So now that we've talked about the societies, explained what they are, and even talked a bit about magic, when can we expect to see all of this on the server?
Well, like I said on our forum post, as soon as we hit 30 simultaneous members on the server at one time, and somebody screenshots that and shows it to me, these societies will be coming to a Celestial Dream server near you.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing all this information with us.
No problemo.
Uh-huh. Before we close this, is there anything else you wanted to say?
Yes, I'm in dire need of homemade chocolate pudding.
Okay.
I say homemade loosely, as in I opened it up out of the box in my home.
Uh-huh. Well, you go get your chocolate fix.
I will do that.
Okay, we're done.